Mm.
Drake has always been in this strange position in culture. He's of the culture, but not really for it. He can rap about the block, the struggle, the energy, and everyone believes it. Almost everyone. But when it's time to stand beside the people who actually live it, he's quiet.
Facts. Facts.
And I don't think it's malice, it's comfort. Because Drake never came from the hood, he came from comfort, from access.
Mm.
And that shapes who you see as your people. When you're used to comfort, the pain of others feels like a different language. You'll sing the
Mm.
songs, you'll quote the struggle, and still not care what built it. Drake represents something bigger than himself. He's the symbol of a new kind of black detachment, where we love the aesthetic of struggle, but not the responsibility that comes with it. He's surrounded by people who profit from black culture while mocking it, from streamers like Aiden Ross, who built platforms off racial shock value, to rappers and influencers who use black slang for clicks but don't stand for people when it matters.
This is very important because, like he said in the beginning, this is who he's comfortable around. So when we think like, wow, Drake just don't do interviews with real like black hip hop media, is because he feels uncomfortable. Y'all remember when he was with Angie Martinez? She was asking him them real questions like, I think a Kendrick Lamar battle would be good for you. He said, I'm sure you do want to see that. These are the questions that makes him feel uncomfortable. He'd rather be on stream with an Aiden Ross who going to cater to how he feels.
We having fun, we iced out, we having money. That's how we doing it.
So you feel like it's not the artist's place to speak on social issues?
No.
And Drake, he's right there beside him, laughing. Not because he hates blackness, but because he never had to protect it. He's what happens when black success grows up away from the fire, when you inherit the rhythm but not the reason.
Mm.
But this isn't about Drake the man, it's about what he represents. Because a lot of us are becoming him. Detached, well spoken, brand friendly versions of ourselves. We care about how blackness looks.
The closer you are to white, the more acceptable you are. So that, for example, all of us learned as we were growing up in the black community, if you are black, stay back. If you are brown, stick around. If you are yellow, you're mellow. And if you're white, you're right.
Not about how it lives. We criticize ghetto behavior, hood mentality, ratchet culture. But the truth is, we love the products it gave us. Hip hop, fashion, the entire creative blueprint that the world copied. We hate the people but love their exports. And that's the real contradiction. Not Drake's silence, but ours.
Now, I'll say this, there's nothing wrong with being great. Just because you're becoming a greater, a better version of yourself does not mean you have to assimilate with a white America. That does not mean that. You can be great and still be black. You can still be black and be great. Still have a love for your people. You do not have to be like other people in order to be great.
We call ourselves free, but we've been tricked into a new kind of captivity. They don't need chains anymore. They just need our indifference. Because if I can make you think something isn't your problem, I can make you ignore it. If I can convince you that progress means getting away from your people, then community dies quietly. Not from hate, but from distance. And that's what's happening. Each generation drifts further away. We mistake disconnection for evolution. We call it growth, but it's detachment. Those who hate the ghetto but ignore how it was made, they miss the entire point. It's not some moral failure that created those environments. It's engineering. If I wanted to destroy people, I don't need to pull the trigger myself. I just need to break the environment around them. I arrest the fathers. I torture them psychologically. I release them back into their neighborhoods with all that pain still in them. They teach their sons survival, not peace. Their sons teach it to their sons, and soon survival is culture.
You can see the lessons that I miss when you talk to me. You can see where I haven't had a father when you talk to me. You know what I'm saying? You can see where I spent a lot of my time in the streets when you talk to me. Because the words that I say are not words that come from a mother's mouth or a father's mouth. It's words that comes from a pimp's mouth or a prostitute or a hustler or a drug dealer.
I criminalize community gatherings, make every block party, every corner hangout feel like a crime scene waiting to happen. I justify or ignore the murders unless they come from within. I confuse you about who the enemy actually is. I tell you it's the rich or the liberal or the one across the street who looks just like you. And then, once you're broken, I hand you an escape. Music, fashion, clout. A consumer identity that looks like pride but feels like performance. I flood your world with products and personalities that worship self over a system. And I make you the highest consumers of what's quietly destroying your reflection. And the best part, you'll thank me for it. You'll call it freedom, but it's really narcissism dressed as success. Because if I can make you fall in love with your own image, I can make you forget who you were supposed to stand beside.
I think when a lot of our people get into their journey or they elevation bag, you know, you want to become a better person, I believe they distance themselves from the unaliving one another, the back and forth, being contentious with one another, the hatred. I believe that's what they're distancing themselves from. I don't necessarily believe that they're distancing themselves from who they really are. You know what I'm saying? It's in you. You know, you ain't going nowhere. What's the saying? You could take him out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of him. Meaning, like, the people, you know, the culture, can't take the culture out of them. Now, the negativity, just because you elevating don't mean you have to represent negativity. You don't have to represent robbery. You don't have to represent unaliving each other. You don't have to represent being contentious and hating your brother and your sister in your heart. You don't have to do that.
And that's why Drake matters in this conversation. He's not the first, and he won't be the last. But he's the clearest symbol of how this new system works. He doesn't need to be political. He doesn't need to be cultural. He just needs to be profitable. And that's the same story playing out in our generation.
Professor Willie Lynch taught you well, huh? Keep the body, take the money.
We want all the brands, not the people. We want aesthetics without accountability. We want to look like culture and not build it. And Drake shows us what the final stage looks like. A man surrounded by every symbol of black achievement, but connected to none of its weight. Our grandparents fought to be seen. Our parents fought to get out. And we're fighting to be remembered. But what happens when there's no community left to remember you? We think success means escaping where we came from. But the truth is, that's how they win. They don't need to oppress you anymore. They just need you to forget your reflection. We used to gather, not because we were poor, but because we understood survival was a team sport. Now, everybody's an island. Everybody's chasing their own highlight reel. And the more connected we get digitally, the more disconnected we become spiritually. That's not evolution, that's erosion.
It kind of reminds me of how people don't know how to have personal interactions anymore. It's like the only interaction that they know is through digital, through the phone, through, you know, social media and stuff like that. It gave us social media, and it's like the more we indulge into that, we become separate in real life.
So what do we do with that? For men, especially black men, We have to unlearn the lie that distance means safety. You can't build legacy without community. You can't call yourself free while standing on the ruins of the people who made you possible.
One more. The Bible says, could two walk together except they be agreed? Did y'all see the brothers doing pull-ups in the park? Them brothers agree with one another. So, like, I won't join hands with somebody that's a stepper or a Damon or out there looking for the next finesse. They trying to, breaking in cars or something like that. We can't come together. So you got to have the right mindset in order to come together, as a people. There's some people that still got the nonsense in their mind, and they're driven. They evilly driven. Evil drives them. You can't come together with nobody like that.
For women, your power has always been reminding us of connection. When everything around us teaches self-interest, your ability to nurture, to unify, to hold mirrors up to men, that's leadership, not softness. That's the balance we've lost. The world doesn't need more celebrities. It needs people who remember how to care. Maybe Drake isn't detached. Maybe he's just a mirror. And when we look at him, what we see isn't betrayal, it's reflection. We see how far we've drifted, how comfort replaced compassion, how individualism became our new religion. So maybe the question isn't, why doesn't Drake speak up? Maybe it's, why did we stop listening to each other? And that's the conversation I want us to have next. Not about Drake, but about us. About whether community even means anything anymore, or if individualism has already won. Would you be down for that one? Because I think that's where this story really leads.
I like that. This is my second time reacting to this brother's channel. I will leave a link in the description. It's Earned Not Given. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all go tap in. I like the conversation. And I would say this, that people are starting to have a conversation. People are starting to, I believe people are starting to realize what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? They are starting to come back together. And he was a reminder, like, hold on. Let's get back to what this really was. This never was about no numbers. That's their game. That's why every time they speak on hip hop, they talking about numbers. That's their thing. Let's get back to these lyrics. Let's get back to us. Let's get back to unifying. You know what I mean? And I believe that battle was a pivotal point and very very important to us joining back together. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, what the brother was saying, very, very profound in what he was saying. And I believe it is happening. It's happening as we speak. It probably don't happen as fast as you think, but you got to look at the time that we spent separated from each other, separated from each other. And, our parents they thought it was all about, and us too, looking at commercials, thought it was all about the shiny things. Go get the new toys. Growing up, I got to get the new this, the new that. Having that mindset your whole life. I had, my children got to have this new stuff, this new that, this new that. We're starting to come out from that. There's starting to be movements. Ain't celebrating no Christmas, no Thanksgiving, none of that. And that's why I say that battle was important, because it didn't just stop there. It stopped with, it's not stopping at all. It's growing with our people being more enlightened on the evils that's targeting us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll leave a link in the description. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it, man. Big Kish signing out. Gone, y'all.